the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go.
You're finished. Let's go.
Get up. Gotta wake up, bitch. Get up.
Oh.
Get up. Get up.
Before it, launch the counterattack. Oh man, that gets me hyped up. What's up, everybody? My name is Gia, and welcome to another episode of the FMA Dumpster Fire podcast. Today, man, we're going to be talking about Hubad Lubad. I'm going to be showing a brand new video that I just filmed and edited today with Seafood Mark Medieros and Coach Steve Dinamo. I'm going to be talking about the amazing comments that I've gotten on my personal and now newly restrictive Facebook page, where I've got some of the most amazing Filipino martial arts minds. I've gathered them, and somehow we're able to have really amazing discussions, honest discussions about the Filipino martial arts. Guys, if you don't already know it, I love the crap out of FMA. It's transformed my life. It's completely changed how I view the world. I love it. And I've got some opinions. And a little caveat, I've been wrong about some of my opinions, but I like to express where I stand right now so that I can look back and go, wow, Paulo, you're a dummy. Or I can validate them over time, right? But this episode is about the FMA community and what we really think about the Hubad Lubad drill. Now, before I continue, I'm gonna say some things that you might not agree with. So I'm not representing the totality of the FMA community. And in fact, I'm going to give specific examples from specific people about what they think is wrong. Actually, let me rephrase that. That statement has gotten me in trouble in the past. Ain't nothing wrong with FMA. There's nothing wrong with Hubad, but there are some common pitfalls in the training of Hubad that I think, for the most part, a lot of people know. But since FMA is growing, and there are a lot of you brand new Filipino martial arts practitioners who may be isolated in these pockets, who may have an instructor who isn't as dope as the ones I have in my community, who might need to hear this stuff, and we're doing it for you, but we're also doing it for us. I think the best Filipino martial arts instructors, no matter where they are in their career, will still admit things like Tuhon is just the beginning and that they're always white belts. So today we're going to talk about Hubad Lubad, and I posted something on my Facebook page, and I think I'm getting really good with how I post these things. And so here's what I wrote. What I wrote was, what are some common pitfalls and deficiencies that FMA practitioners might fall into when learning the Hubad Lubad or any FMA flow drill for that matter? So we're going to get right into it. Guys, if you love the Filipino martial arts, if you appreciate what our community is doing here, I know a lot of you are watching from Facebook. I would suggest you hop on over to YouTube and you go on the FMA Source channel, which is being simulcast right now. Please do that. That way your comments will be made available to the worldwide internets of the FMA and not just on my personal Facebook page. So if you can go ahead, take a moment to do that. While you're at it, if you appreciate what we're doing here together, we don't always need to agree, but we are standing behind the amazing Filipino martial arts. So it's got dark in here live. Anyway, yeah, just head on over to YouTube, go to FMA Source, hit that subscribe button. We're going to get right into the comments. Okay, so remember the question, or what are some common pitfalls? The first one we are going to talk about, let's see who we got here. We have Brian Canada, who is like One of the old school American FMA dudes. He thinks that. Let me read this. Let me make this bigger. Kablamo. Let me get rid of this brand because you know what? I started calling this the FMA Dumpster Fire podcast when I first started it, but I think we've evolved. It's less dumpster fiery and it's actually super duper productive. This friggin' thing is gonna bother me, but if it's not bothering you, then we're good. Then we're good to go. Okay. So Brian Canada taking the drill as the entirety and not the starting point. Good point, Brian. Learn the drill, understand the motions, and then rip it apart and learn how to apply the individual pieces of that drill. That is so awesome. That's really important. And some of the comments that we're going to hear from in just a second here, we're going to get into the details of how to actually do that. Like, how do we apply with a bit of honesty these individual pieces? So I think what Brian is getting to is like, Hubad has by the way, I suck at the patterned Hubad. I understand parts and pieces of it. I think pretty good. But when somebody goes, okay, now do Hubad on the left side, I'm like, what? There's a left side of Hubad? Yeah. It's like, oh, don't you know this transition from the left to the right and we do this move? I'm like, I don't know. Just go ahead and try to punch me from that side and we'll see if we can get back to Hubad. I think that's what Brian was getting into. Next comment, Iron Tree Kali homeboy David, who is, I'm not going to divulge how awesome this guy is. Just take my word for it. He's a pretty awesome guy. He's done some things. He's seen some things, and I believe he also loves Filipino martial arts. He's a dog brother, if I'm not mistaken. Not sure if it's full or candidate or whatever. Apparently there's like different doggy dogs. But Iron Tree writes, what's wrong or what are deficiencies and common pitfalls in Hubad? The drills are not meant to repeat. Each part is a possible reaction to input, kind of highlighting what Brian Canada just said, right? That we're not supposed to, it's not block, parry, check each and every time. We can just block, we can just parry, we can just check. And then we're going to expand beyond that. What else can it do? What else can it do? And then I'm going to share with you my personal opinions about what it is. I'm going to show you a pretty dope video later that I filmed today. By the way, let's make this interactive, right? Drop some comments. So Iron Tree continues, and a possible response. Sabayan, Hubad, Dulog. What the heck's Dulog? I don't know Dulog. I know Dumog. Maybe that's a typo. It's probably a typo. Ain't the electric slide. So he's referring to the tendency of some Filipino martial arts practitioners to get into this kind of a patterned dance, a little bit like a hoedown. You know what I'm saying? A square dance, if you will. Have a sip of my beer. How you guys doing, by the way? This is Thanksgiving weekend for Canadians, so what's up? What's up? James Cummings replies, once we started adding parts or transitioning from one to another, an amazing shift happened for me. It was drilled into my head that they are only drills, launching points. I agree. Dope. Sean Owens, by the way, Google the man. He's a brilliant jazz musician. He sent me one of his albums and I use it to train. Oh, just the way he covers the classics. And he's got some original pieces too. Absolutely brilliant guy. So Sean Owens says, I have witnessed students, myself included, I love that, lose sight of the fact that it is a drill designed to develop attributes and not a fight. Beating your training partner does neither of you any good. So that part I agree with. Sometimes we use Hubad as I guess a platform or a catalyst to show our supremacy in understanding this drill. Really all they're doing is it's a one-sided communication. It's very easy to beat somebody in Hubad. All you gotta do is kick them in the balls, right? But it's a communication. And both parties ought to be able to learn something from it. But here's where I kind of disagree. I don't think that Hubad is as strong at developing attributes as I have personally been led to believe. Okay, so let's talk about this. What attributes? If you guys can leave me in the comments right now, what attributes is the Hubad Lubad drill supposed to actually help us develop? Some will say sensitivity. Okay, I get that. Sensitivity, it can do that. But not in the way that is classically trained. To develop Hubad, to develop the attribute of sensitivity using Hubad, you need to stay connected. And then it becomes a little bit closer to Chisao. But then is Chisao the best tool we've got to develop sensitivity? I happen to think not. I happen to think that rolling and clinch fighting happen to be optimal, or not optimal, at least better in some ways than Hubad in its classical basic fundamental form. But the thing about Hubad is that it's modifiable. You can make Hubad whatever the heck you want. You can make Hubad, you can do Hubad with your feet, as Coach Greg Nelson showed me. You can do Hubad with spears, right? Anybody in disagreement with me at this point? Anybody think you can't do Hubad with spears and swords? You can do Hubad with spears and swords. But I actually think that there are direct applications for Hubad, and this is where we kind of get into a bit of a rabbit hole, right? What do you mean direct applications of Hubad? Well, what's Hubad? Block, parry, check, right? And different iterations of it. And so for us to be able to glean from the direct applicability of Hubad, we're going to need to do something that is really uncomfortable, which is spar or roll. We don't need to go hardcore, but even light sparring and light rolling allows us to have resistance, to have non-compliance within an exercise that is actually super duper fun. And it's free form, right? Or it can be compartmentalized. But anyway, I think that Hubad as an attribute development drill is not very strong. It's not very strong in its original format. But like I mentioned, I think clinch fighting and rolling are supreme. But here's the kicker. Can we incorporate Hubad in clinch fighting? Hell yeah, we can. Can we incorporate Hubad in rolling? Hell yeah, we can. So now we're beginning to get into Hubad, what it is, what it isn't, where we can integrate it, where we can Trojan horse it. Later, we're going to talk about where it doesn't belong. And I think that's also important. So let's get to some more comments. God, I love my Facebook friends list right now. Just amazing martial artists, amazing Filipino martial artists. Not any of these guys. I'm just kidding. But Chuck Sanford, we're talking about the deficiencies, right, of Hubad. Getting complacent and sloppy with the techniques of the drill, burdens and bad habits. I disagree, Chuck. I think you're a great dude. I think you're on the right track, but I disagree. I disagree with some parts of that. I think you definitely you cannot get complacent when doing Hubad, but I definitely think you ought to get sloppy. You ought to get sloppy. And I talked with that dog brother Badger Jones. I'll show you his comment later on. And he uses the analogy of juggling, right? We'll get to it. It's pretty dope. Alan Jardin, uncooperative resistance, right? Jason Pettis. It's either too basic, too complex, or too mystical. All too much bullshit. Man, you're missing 1, 2, 3, 4 O's. I love you, bro. Chris Robinson, I'll second what most have said. Don't follow the drill like it's religion. Dissect and use pieces of it. Yes. We're going to get to the point where what is the value in maintaining the flow framework of Hubad versus the start, stop, direct application of Hubad? But before that, we're going to get to Dexter James and Steve Drayton. Again, we're talking about deficiencies right now, you guys. Hey, by the way, why am I not seeing any comments? Okay, people are commenting. I'm seeing the comments. Okay, but it's not populating. What's wrong? I can't read your comments. All right, just keep commenting. All right. Dexter James, the inability to break the pattern or recognize the pattern is a stepping stone to spontaneity. Very good. Very good. Stepping stone. Steve Drayton, no one will dance with us, as in the drill. It's important to recognize the angle of attack and then apply an appropriate response which may have learned in a drill. As others have said, break down the drill and understand the practical application and practice. So here's the thing, you guys. Y'all are saying the right things. This is absolutely, in my opinion, the correct things. It's a stepping stone to spontaneity. You're supposed to use parts and pieces of it and not rely on the entire sequence. To understand its practical application is supremely important. But how do you guys do that? Are we just giving this whole thing lip service? Like, do we know the real answers to what's wrong with Hubad, but we aren't actually applying it in our practice? And I have a theory. I'll get to some more comments in a second. I think my theory goes a little something like this. We all understand, most of us understand the deficiencies of Hubad, and maybe we have training methodologies that work, but we don't show it. And we don't show it because it's messy. And we don't show it because it's ugly. And we don't show it because Hubad is actually meant to expose our deficiencies. It's supposed to let us know where our points of failures are. But we don't show that process because of what? Everybody repeat after me. No. Because of what? Ego. Ego. This, damn it. Speaking of ego, I was supposed to be the broadcast guy and I got a light malfunctioning over there. But it's ego. Ego prevents FMA instructors from showing amazing modalities, methodologies, and processes for developing Hubad. We resist showing that crap online because students suck. I'm going to just say it straight out. Students suck. They suck because they have this unrealistic demand for perfection from FMA instructors. I'm here to tell you, ain't nobody perfect in FMA. Everyone's failing in their garage dojos. Everyone's failing in person, but they're not showing it. And so what's the danger, you guys? Well, the danger is if you're not showing your failures, there are copycats out there who are just copying your perfect patterns, and they're taking your shit and they're teaching it, and they think there's no room for failure. So can I make a request, you guys, as instructors in Filipino martial arts? Please show your processes, show yourselves failing. Believe me, when we show our failures over time, consistently, this is going to change the nature of Filipino martial arts. It's going to improve the game for everybody. Promise. All right, so let's get to more of these comments. Yo, let me know if that light is getting a little bit too annoying. I'm going to fix it. Otherwise, the blinky blink, it should be fine, right? Okay? All right. Let me know. Ernie Lake and Ben Zaharias, FCS, Kali. I friggin' love FCS. Love it. Love Tuhon and the tribe that he's cultivated. I like a lot of the people there. I love some of the people there. So, Lakan Guru Ernie Lake. Problem with Hubad is people thinking that it's the end game. It's not the end game. Ben Zaharias not understanding what the drill is developing, or what the guys above me said. Here's the thing. It's not the end game. But I get it. Yo, Hubad can look dope. Hubad can look freaking sexy, man. Almost as sexy as Sabayan or some Brada drills, Puño Mano drills. Hubad is sexy. And if you can do Hubad really, really fast and have enough variety, and I put variety in quotes because you can actually interject absolutely anything within the Hubad pattern. If you have 1, 2, or 3 dope looking ones and you just cycle through that shit, that becomes your end game. You just add a little bit more speed. That's what Guru Ernie's talking about. And again, I'm going back to the students. You're getting fooled when you see 2 high-level instructors do Hubad Lubad. You got to pay attention. Here, slow it down and then write down what they're doing. You're going to identify a pattern. You're like, oh, bop, bop. Oh, he just added a jab in between parry and block, or he just did this. Okay, that's a process, a very, very important process. But when it's presented as the end game, well, then we're being a little tricky, right? Like we're being a little bit dishonest. And all it takes is to add a bit of context. Guys, we're doing this together. I know you're already doing this with your group, your little tribe, your little circle. Let's do it for everybody. Let's be. I'm not saying give your crap away for free. Obviously that's not the case. But I think a good step would be to show our failures, right? Show our failures online. Sifu Nick. All right. Sifu Nick and Jerry Wetzel. All right. Two guys who have an FMA background but aren't strictly FMA. Which, by the way, I think is super duper important. I'm going to get to that in a minute. No, I'm going to get to it right now. Do I get to it here? There we go. I do. Okay, so Sifu Nick, staying patternized or simply doing the drill without actually understanding the context. Woo, context, really important. And I reply, right, the context varies greatly outside the usual FMA framework. So Hubad Lubad is going to work great within the framework of FMA when you can be semi-predictive about what this FMA dude is going to throw at you, especially if you know him. You're going to get into this loop, this cycle of just knowing what each other, is up to. So I really think that to understand and to gain a deep understanding of Hubad Lubad, you need to export it out of the framework of FMA and see where it can be valid in Jiu-Jitsu. See where it can have application in Muay Thai. See to what degree it can be used to work on your boxing skills, right? And I'll say this. It may not be the optimal drill in your Muay Thai training. It may not be the optimal drill in your Jiu-Jitsu, your wrestling, your Muay Thai. You probably have better drills to develop the same skill sets. But if you're a lifelong martial artist and you are a principle-based learner, you can actually extract the value of variety. Because it might be something that you do once or twice. It could be something that you do once in a while. But my understanding from lifelong martial artists is that, once you have this great foundation and understanding, this is really when you can begin to explore and get fancy with it. You know what I'm saying? And so you can get fancy with it while still keeping a pulse on the fundamentals. Right? Damn, I sound like I know what I'm talking about. Oh no! What happened? I didn't get to Jerry. There we go, Jerry. Getting used to doing drills that don't have transferable utility to the very thing they're supposed to help with. Woo. Love it. It's true. And I replied, yeah, to really understand where Hubad can specifically work, we need to step out of the FMA framework. Super important. But the thing is, there's a lot of people who just have Filipino martial arts, right? Like they didn't do anything else. They don't associate with anyone else. They're kind of in this little bubble. And this is where this thing that I'm working on with Sifu Mark Medieros and Coach Steve Dinamo, and again, it isn't contained within those two, right? This is their network, my network, kind of, and to a degree, you guys in my Facebook page, we're contributing thoughts and ideas, and we're taking it to the lab, and then we are putting these pieces, these important inspirations, into an online video. And the reason I'm doing this is not like to take away. Look, there are a lot of amazing instructors out there who can teach you Hubad. So first and foremost, before you sign up to this online course or even, consider registering, by the way, the link is in the description. Before you even consider that, look around in your local area. There may be a dope instructor there. And if you have that person, you don't need to sign up to this Hubad Lubad course that I'm trying to sell. No need if you have a dope instructor who can teach it to you. But also, like I said before, like awesome Filipino martial arts instructors, awesome martial artists who've been there and done that. They don't close themselves off to these opportunities. So if you want, even if you're, already a Sifu or a Datu or a Tuhan, whatever, check it out. It's not going to cost a whole lot of money. If anything, it could validate some crazy thoughts that you had, or it could just refresh things that you may have learned downstream. But this isn't necessarily for you. I mean, there's an element of it that can serve you, but I think these are for the people who are isolated and who may be struggling with finding good instructors in their area. Okay, so let's get that straight. I'm trying to sell this online course. It's on. We've been working on it for months, but maybe you don't need it. And that's cool. Let's just continue the conversation, right? Leroy Jenkins, focus. What's wrong with Hubad, or what are deficiencies and common pitfalls? Focusing on the drill, not the attributes or application of the things trained in the drill. Brian Corey, Balintawak dude. Too much speed, sloppy movements, lack of structure. I've already disagreed with that, conditionally disagreed with it. Sloppy movements and lack of structure. Those things are actually really important, right? They're really, really important, but they can't be cages. They can't be, oh, your movement was sloppy. Oh, you lack structure, therefore you suck. If that wall, if that cage is too strong, it'll keep us in, right? It's okay to get sloppy, isn't it? It's okay to break from structure if it achieves the outcome under the framework of messy, dirty training. So I don't think we're in disagreement at all. I'm just looking to pick at the nuance of what you said. And now Badger Jones. Let's see. Here's a good one. Lack of footwork. He's right. Hubad without footwork. It's not very good. I saw a dude on Instagram. Look, if you think, not you, Badger, if you folks think that Hubad is meant to develop timing and you can do it with your eyes closed, you're not timing shit. You're not. How are you work on your timing when you can do it with your eyes closed? You need your eyes to work on your timing. You know what I mean? What you're working on is your ability to memorize the speed and cadence of predictable patterns, and that ain't worth shit. I saw a dude do he covered his eyes and he started doing knifey things. And then he's like, oh, it's in case of arterial spray and you're temporarily blinded. But he was doing it on a bob. So I'm like, okay, there is an element of potential truth there, but it's being severely misrepresented and it's dishonest, to be honest. Anyway, so yeah, really, really think about these things. If it's developing sensitivity, how is it developing sensitivity? How are you transforming your Hubad practice so that you're actually working on your sensitivity? Now, if you did Hubad and you were connected the whole entire time, and then you close your eyes, then we can say you're probably working on sensitivity, not working on timing, right? Anyway, let's dig deeper. But Badger Jones, Dog Brother, I 100% believe, lack of footwork. And again, it's okay to compartmentalize. It's okay. Let's do Hubad. Let's do it classic, right? Let's do classic Hubad for a moment in time. But let's navigate away from that. Let's add footwork, body angling, pushes, shoves, entries. Lack of resistance is a good one. But I rebut that. So resistance is important. It's important, but there's something I think more important. Anyway, he writes, learning sequences that are all about making you a funkier Hubad doer. Hey, the part where I give you a low strike and you respond with this extremely specific series of movements? Love it. So let's talk about resistance in Hubad. I actually think it's not as important as the thing I'm about to mention. For me, resistance is definitely part of it, but more than resistance, it is the lack or infrequency of breaking the predictable cadence. That's the Hubad, right? So you can do that as fast as you can, but if that cadence is predictable, you don't break it, then you're not working on your timing. You're really not, right? So I like the way Coach Steve Dinamo and Mark Medeiros, and I'm sure many of you guys do Hubad, is that you might do it lethargic and slow, and then bam, try to smack that mother effer in his ear. So even while he's going slow and lethargic, he's not falling asleep. He's not getting complacent. It is the offsetting of speed, intensity, and cadence that actually supercharges Hubad Lubad. It's what prevents your training partner from falling asleep. It's what allows him to actually stay in that combat focus, even if you're going slow, because at any given moment, bang, you could throw a kick to his face. You can slap him right across it. That is the magic of Hubad. This preventative, this anti-sleeping pill that you can build into your Hubad. It's dope. Try it. Do Hubad with your students, but don't be a dick and do it without warning. Like, set them up, right? Like, look, we're gonna do Hubad just like what we normally do, but I might go slower, but I might go faster. I won't tell you when that's gonna happen. I want you to expect it at any time, and then maybe I'll throw in a leg kick. Maybe I'll try to shoot in sometime in this flow. Maybe I'm gonna try to go for a double leg takedown and smash your face on the mats. All right, so I'm gonna show you a video. I'm gonna show you a video now. Okay, let me frame this. There's enough people on my Facebook friends. There's a lot of people that I associate with who already know the deal. Okay. Students want to see cinematic. Students want to go, wow, that's freaking awesome. Because the messy training, the fails, right? The identifying points of failures, the pressure testing, all that shit can look really, really messy. And there's still a lot of students out there who are looking for the sexy. And so just like when your mama tricked you into eating vegetables, this is what I'm going to do. And this is what I have to do for now. To be able to Trojan horse good content, good material, it's unfortunate, but it's enjoyable for me as a content creator to be able to create cinematic representations of the things that we understand so that we can help others grow. We can grow together. So I'm going to play this video for you guys. I hope you guys enjoy it. Keep in mind. Oh, and it's really incomplete because I wrote narration for it. Again, I'm just trying to, man, I love Filipino martial arts so much, you guys, and I'm trying my best to make it palatable to a wide variety of people. I'm trying to make Filipino martial arts, sexy. I think that's important. So, FMA is freaking sexy, yo. Yo, it's badass. FMA is badass. It's sexy. It's cool. It's cinematic. It's okay. It's okay. We can love those things. We can get fancy with it. We can get artsy. Yes, we can do all those things, but let's not neglect that there's a big part of FMA that is combat focused, that is messy, that is ugly, that is ego shattering, right? Let's not forget that part. That's part really important. But hey, you're not going to convince me to get to say that FMA is sexy and cool and badass. It's all of those things. So here's a sexy, cool, badass video. I'm going to have some narration included with it in the final process. But for now, hit that thumbs up, hit that like button, make sure to subscribe. We're all trying to do good things for Filipino martial arts in our own way. Here's my sexy little contribution. Let me pop this. Let me add it. Whoa, hold on. Chill. Make this full screen. All right. By the way, I filmed this earlier today. I edited it, finished it within about 2.5 hours. This is how much I love this shit. I mean, guys, enjoy the video. All right. You guys can hear me? Yeah? Yeah. What? Can't hear me? Okay. Can you guys hear me now? Damn it. Okay, crap. Were you guys able to hear the music? Were you guys able to hear that music in the video? Yeah? You guys could hear the music when I played the video, right? Okay, you guys could. But I was talking for like a minute and you guys couldn't hear what I said. All right, well, that moment's passed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play the video again, but I'm going to read the narration that I wrote for it. What I was saying was that you guys already know this stuff, but if you know anybody who might benefit from it, or maybe even if you're interested in learning about how these guys really utilize Hubad in a broad spectrum of ways, what I was talking about was, how can Hubad concepts be used for? Oh, here we go. I'm going to hear from the combatives crowd. How can Hubad concepts be used in weapons-based fighting? Like, how can you use it to facilitate, access, deployment, and retention of your weapon? Is it possible? I think it's possible, but we got to be careful about how we navigate this space, y'all, because it's been done wrong before. Like, we've seen these, karate McDojo guys do like super fast gun disarms with gis on, and it's like, and out of context. It's not what I want to do. But I do believe, and it's been validated by a number of really credible sources, that if we frame these drills correctly and really be honest about their assets, liabilities, and value, then we can get somewhere. I've been talking, and you guys haven't. You guys can see me the whole time. What the? All right, we're gonna watch the video again with a lower volume, and then I'm gonna read the narration that's gonna be married to this. Okay, let me see. We're gonna do this. Can you guys still hear me? No sound. You guys can still hear me, right? Yo, somebody pop a thumbs up. Come on. Thumbs up if you can hear me. Yeah? I thought you were doing it on purpose. No. It's friggin' live shit, man. I appreciate you guys. By the way, can you all say a happy Thanksgiving to all our Canadian brothers and sisters? Maybe you Americans didn't know. It's Thanksgiving weekend here. And before I play this, grateful for you guys. Thankful for you guys. Thankful for this community that we're building. Thank you. Elbow cop, right? So if you know some Canadians, wish them a happy Thanksgiving. All right, we'll do the same for you Americans when it's your Thanksgiving. Cool? All right, word. All right, let me play this again. Lower volume. You guys can hear me. Awesome. So here it is. I get my my broadcast voice on. May. All right. Okay. Damn it. Happy Turkey Day, Brad Taylor. All right, here we go. All right, okay. Let's see if I can make this work. All right, you guys ready? Here we go. All right. Frigate. Okay, I'm gonna read now. All right. The Hubad Lubad drill is proposed to develop our ability to fight by improving our timing and sensitivity to attacks. But you can't do that by staying within the framework of predictable patterns and formulas familiar to FMA practitioners. In order for Hubad to work, it must be exported from FMA and pressure tested without the limitations of lineage, form, and system. We must honestly seek where it can be valuable and when it can become a deadly liability.
In the Hubad Restoration Project, we are led by two lifelong martial artists who forged their skills away from the comforts of the dojo. And while they can appreciate the elegance and grace of classical Hubad forms, they understand that it is only a starting point they must quickly depart from. By incorporating concepts from boxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, as well as edged, impact, and ballistic weaponry, the practitioner can get an honest assessment of where Hubad can serve a multitude of training goals and applications. Using a blend of rapid and direct drills, scenario training, and flow models, Hubad is used not as the engine to fight, but the spark plug that can initiate learning how to identify and defend against takedowns, empty hand strikes, kicks, knees, and weaponized attacks in standing and grounded fighting conditions. This series can serve the seasoned FMA practitioner wishing to advance their understanding of Hubad outside the FMA framework. For combat sport fighters, it's an opportunity to learn a drill designed to complement the skills and tactics you're already working on. For self-defense and security professionals, it's an opportunity to support your hard skills to access, deploy, retain your weapon of choice. Blah. That was all right. That was an okay read. I gotta work on my timing there. Maybe I'll do Hubad for writing and videography. All right, yo. Oh, I did this thing. I did this thing where I put all of these like cool. Those things.
Tell me you did not just say that.
I keep forgetting about this. So anyway, you guys want to know the truth? You guys want to know the truth about Hubad?
You can't handle the truth.
Bam! All right, yo, that's the end of this podcast. Yo, FMA community, I love you. I'm thankful for you. Thank you for keeping me honest. Sometimes I say some shit that I end up being wrong about. But that's me, the dancing monkey of FMA, the guy who is fearless in showing his failures and deficiencies, because I think it's good for everybody. And this is a process. I fight. I will enter any arena with no ego because I think FMA is dope. Looking forward to finally when the Dog Brother gatherings become available to me in this area. I'm looking forward to that. Certainly have some people in my circle who are Dog Brothers. I fought a bunch of them, but I think there's something special about being in a gathering. So I hope I'm welcome there. Point fighting circuits. Oh, so many ways to spar. Can't wait till the borders open. I want to fight in the Philippines again and in other parts of Asia. Can't wait to fight my European brothers and sisters under the Sea of Spain, in Germany and France. You guys are awesome fighters. And of course, we cannot forget the homeland. There are so many amazing Filipino martial arts practitioners and teachers in the Philippines. It is 1,000% worth going back to the Philippines if you've been there before and visiting for the first time. Just make sure you know somebody good who can show you a good time in the Philippines. You know what I'm saying? As the Filipino martial arts continues to spread all across the world, hey, Philippines is still the Mecca, man, But having said that, don't sleep on Canada, dudes. Especially in the Toronto area. Don't sleep on Canada as an FMA hub. We're doing big things out here. I hope you guys appreciate it. Thank you for being a part of it. I love you guys. And by the way, there are a lot of great FMA social media outlets are there. Let me holler at some off the top of the dome. FMA Pulse, doing great shit. FMA Discussion, doing amazing stuff that I don't watch because they are really, really long, but it's super important. It's super important to hear from all of these FMA luminaries in their own words. One day, they might be of tremendous value to somebody seeking out a system, So shout out FMA Source, or shout out FMA Discussion, shout out FMA Pulse, shout out the Sticks and Blades podcast. You know what I mean? Cali Doug doing his thing. man, there's so many, you guys. There's so many. I even see, masters in the Philippines really putting in the effort, doing live feeds. Ronnie Royce Bass doing his thing. Mang Henry Espera doing his thing. Yo, how can I forget the FMA vlogger, Daniel Bernas, world champion. Dude is on this dude, man. This dude's making some dope videos. Sometimes I get jealous. Damn it. Yeah, there's lots. Hey, do me a favor. If you're not going to comment based on the discussion, leave a comment and tell me, and I don't mind, who your favorite. No, because I know I'm your favorite. But what's your next favorite FMA channel? Right? And just leave it in the link, right? And leave a little description like, I love watching FMA Pulse, check out this video. Or I love the Giambabi Balintawak channel, here's the link. And yo, if you're reading those comments, click on them, support them. Hey, even if you've got a second and you're not down with watch, just hit the click button, man. Hit the subscribe button. Show some love for the greater Filipino martial arts community who continually dole out content, putting themselves out there, open to the criticisms and all that nonsense. Let's turn the tide. Let's show them some love. What do you guys say? You're down with that? Yeah, please. Let's do this. Let's do this. Thank you guys very much for watching FMA Source. My name is Paulo Rubio, aka GN. And here's the thing: there are other amazing FMA outlets out there, but I got the best intro. Period. Here it is again. I love you. Peace out.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go.
You're finished! No!
Get up. Gotta wake up, bitch. Get up.
Oh.